Hello there and welcome to the Train Driver Group Bourdon test. My name is Richard McMunn, and for the duration of this particular presentation I'm going to give you some important hints and tips that will allow you to prepare more effectively for this particular stage of the train driver selection process. I just want to say at the beginning that once you've watched this presentation, please go along to my website careervids.com, where you will find a load more training videos and free information and resources that will help you to pass the train driver selection process. Okay, so the question is, what is the Group Bourdon concentration test? Well, it is a particular stage of the selection process that you are required to pass, and it is exactly what it says. It's a concentration test. As I'm sure you are aware, one of the roles of a train driver is to concentrate intently whilst travelling at high speed. So you have to carry out certain tasks, and the safety of yourself, the safety of the crew members, the safety of the train and of your passengers is of utmost importance. Okay, so therefore you have to be able to concentrate, and this test will determine your ability to do that. And I want to say from the offset that what you should be aiming for when you carry out the test is both speed and accuracy. Okay, don't forget that speed is important, but also accuracy. So you want to make sure you get as many correct as possible, and I will come on to the test in a second to explain what it is. So the Group Bourdon concentration test is one of the hardest parts of the assessment process to pass. Okay, it's the one test that the majority of people fail, and I would say it's mainly due to a lack of preparation, because many candidates turn up to take the test without any prior knowledge of how the test actually works and what is expected. Now obviously when you go along to the assessment centre on the day, you will be given information and advice on how to tackle the test, and the assessment centre staff will be extremely helpful, so you will get an idea of what's required on the day. But I believe it's far better to go along to the assessment centre and have a thorough understanding of what's required, and also a chance to practice before you go, because practice will make perfect. Now the test is designed to assess your ability to concentrate whilst performing tasks at high speed. The test is carried out either with a pen and paper or a computer and a computer screen. I am aware that some train operating companies are still using the pen and paper method, but the majority are now using the computer and the computer screen. My opinion is it doesn't really matter which form of the test you use, because they are very similar. So whichever test you undertake, you will be presented, okay, with 5 pages or screens that each contain 25 columns of groups of dots. And I'll show you what it looks like in a second, guys. Each of the columns contains boxes with patterns of dots which are either in groups of 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. Your task is to work quickly and accurately through each column from left to right, identifying boxes that contain 4 dots only. So here's what the screen will look like. So if you look at that straight away, it just looks like a mass of dots, which effectively is what it is. And there are 5 of these to work through, and you have 2 minutes per page to work through the screen. Now I can't see many people getting to the bottom, so you start from the top left and you work across from left to right, going across each column and each of the rows, identifying groups of 4 dots only. So if you think about it, once you've been working through this, the assessor will tell you to stop after 2 minutes and move on to the next page. Imagine what it would be like when you get to 3, 4 and 5 pages. That is when the test becomes extremely difficult, because your mind will start to see just a blur of dots on the screen, and that's when your levels of concentration have to really come to the fore. And this is an important tip, guys, okay? Don't worry about getting to the bottom of the page. What is important is getting as many as you can done in quick speed, but aim for accuracy. Don't forget, we're looking for groups of 4 dots. So if you see that one on the top left hand corner there, that's a group of 3 dots. 3 comes next, then 5, then 3, then 5, then 4. So you would identify that one as having 4 dots. Then 3, then 3, then 5, then 3, 3, 3, 4. So there's another one with 4 which you would identify. What you don't want to do is go along each column and picking out the groups of 4, but also getting some wrong and identifying groups that have 3, 2 or 5 groups of dots. You really need to focus on groups of 4. Now, some people say to me, what's the pass mark? I don't know, okay? It's not commonly known. You don't have to worry about the pass mark. Just worry about getting as many as you can done, but aim for accuracy because you will lose marks. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the test. Now, this is just an example piece of free software that's available. We've got the time limit there in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Now, I'm not going to worry about the time myself, but I'm going to start the test. I'm going to use the cursor on my computer to work from the top left across the screen. I'm going to do it in slow pace just to give you an idea of what the test is like. So you can see there at the top, the first one is 5, next one is 4, so I'll identify that. Next one is 3, then we've got a 4, then we've got a 4, a 3, then we've got another 4, then we've got another 4, another 4, another 4, moving along. So I'm just identifying the 4s there as I go along. Okay, now I'm not particularly brilliant at this test myself, and I'm not saying that I'm actually identifying groups of 4s in the right speed, but it will give you an idea of what the test is actually like. Now I'm trying to do this while I'm talking to you, so it's not the easiest. See, I've just missed one there, so I'm going to go back, and you can only go back one space. Okay, so I'm moving along and identifying groups of 4 dots as I progress along the screen. So you can see there that the test itself, there's no way I'm going to get to the bottom of the screen, but what I'm aiming for here is a level of accuracy. So I'm starting to speed up now as I'm getting used to the test. Move that out of the way. 4, 4. Okay, so that gives you an idea. I've done a minute there so far, and I've only got down to the 4th row there, but hopefully I've got the majority of them right. And what I was doing, I've not done this test myself that much, but you would find if you practice this as you go along, your speed would increase and you become a lot more competent in the use of identifying groups of 4. So the important thing is to make sure that you stay calm during the test. That's extremely important. Okay, so stay calm during the test itself. And practice group Bourdon tests. You know, there are lots of facilities available out there. I myself have created a group Bourdon testing book, which you can get on Amazon. Just type in Richard McMunn or Train Driver Group Bourdon Test on Amazon. You'll get a book. Or you can go to my website, careervids.com, where you'll find an online group Bourdon testing facility that you can try out. But the most important thing, guys, is to remember, aim for speed, but also aim for accuracy. Accuracy is extremely important. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the best in your pursuit to becoming a train driver.